AITA I exploded at my family after finding out my uncle is my father, and IDK what to feel about it. I was raised by my grandparents. They told me I was given up for adoption by a distant cousin. A few weeks ago, found out my uncle is my father, and I was shocked and blew up on them. They wanted me to rebuild the relationship with my bio dad, but I'm torn. I posted on the other sub as well, but just wanted to know what y'all think I should do. Hello, a throwaway here, obviously. I'm M18, and I think I just experienced the most fucked up things possible in my life right now. A bit of background, I have been raised by my grandparents for the whole of my life, and they did well, to be honest, despite their advanced ages. I've been told by them early on that I was given up for adoption by some distant cousin, they didn't want to tell who at first, and that the person didn't want to do anything by me, so I didn't think much of it. Besides, why would I want to do something with someone who doesn't want me? Anyway, when I reached 18 like a few weeks ago, my grandparents sat me down with my uncle, I'm not really super close with him, and then proceeded to tell me that he is my father. I was shocked, felt like the world was collapsing, and I was disoriented. My uncle then started crying and told me the reason why he abandoned me to my grandparents was that he blamed me for the reason that his wife died. Like WTF, his wife died giving birth to me, and thus he couldn't take it well through the grief and gave up me to my grandparents. After all that, it clicked to me. Why this particular uncle always resembles me so much, or how he always avoided me or acted cold to me during family functions, not that he always attended, or how my grandparents always don't speak much of him. It's just so crazy to me. Admittedly, I couldn't hold my emotions well. I blew up at my grandparents and my uncle for keeping this secret from me, and my uncle blaming me for the death of his wife. I ran to my room and locked myself there. My grandpa knocked several times on my room, but I kept calling them not nice names, so they left me alone eventually. It's been a few weeks now since it happened, and my uncle is nowhere to be seen. Good riddance, though. But my grandma said I could have at least understood his position, and that he wanted to rekindle the father-son relationship. I said hell no, but then IDK what to think about anymore. So Redditor, AITA, for blowing up at my grandparents and uncle for this, and for not wanting to form a relationship with him, IDK what to think anymore. Relevant comments. Commenter, NTA. All three of them, and probably the rest of your extended family, have lied to you for your entire life. They've all had 18 years to tell you the truth, and now they expect you to be fine and accepting when they turn your world on its head, and he blamed you, a child, for the death of your mother, and abandoned you to be raised by his parents. Oh hell no. He's someone you barely know and do not have a close relationship with. Why is he so keen to establish a parental relationship now? Is it just because you are now legally an adult and he would no longer be financially responsible for you? Don't let them guilt or push you into a decision. This isn't a fairy tale where the truth comes out and everyone plays happy families. They dropped a huge bombshell on you and need to accept that you need time to process this. My cousin went through something similar. Her biological father was absent for most of her life, refusing to believe or admit that he was her father, and only started reaching out and acknowledging her when she was 18, as he wouldn't have to pay child support then. It took a long time and a lot of soul-searching for her to accept him, and even now they are not close, but are on speaking terms. Commenter, your mother would not have wanted your father to abandon you. She would never have wanted him to blame you. I'm glad your grandparents stepped up, and I hope you can forgive them, even though they probably should have prepared you better and told you sooner. Story 2. AITA. For telling my parents that they're overzealous and they need to teach my precious half-sister to mind her own business? Throwaway so my family doesn't see. This is about me and my half-sister Maddie, who is 14. Maddie constantly instigates social dramas at her school and then cries wolf if people stand up to her. My parents are the main part of the problem. They feed into Maddie's antics completely and always push the narrative that it's all somebody else's fault. The latest claim from Maddie was that a girl, Nora, was harassing her and calling her ugly, bullying her for body in the locker rooms. Obviously, my parents came to the school guns blazing and revving to get Nora expelled for what she did to precious Maddie. The school was prepared for this meeting and had two other girls there who were both witnesses to the incident. My parents parroted Maddie's story about Nora bullying and harassing her, and both the girls who were witnesses explained that wasn't what happened. The girls both said Maddie accused Nora of checking her out. Nora just said that she wasn't checking Maddie out, or attracted to Maddie at all, and to leave her alone. Nora only spoke in self-defense of herself after Maddie went up to her first and didn't say anything else to Maddie. If I were our parents, would have apologized for what happened, made Maddie apologize, then grounded Maddie for being a liar and instigator in the first place. Nope. Now my parents claim it was still bullying and are bluffing about wanting to sue the school for not defending Maddie, punishing Nora, and disciplining the two witnesses for not intervening. My Uncle Daniel, is a paralegal and currently in law school. On Sunday, my parents told me to text Uncle Daniel and ask why he's not responding to them because he has the connections to help them sue the school. I got fed up and told my parents that Uncle Daniel's probably ignoring them because this situation is just so stupid. I also said that instead of being overzealous and fighting with the school, they should tell precious Maddie to just mind her own business. I guarantee that most of her social dramas will go away if she does that. I got grounded and had my phone confiscated for being disrespectful. So now I'm writing this on a school computer. My parents said I was acting like a brat, and a 16-year-old who's never paid bills has no place to dictate what they do. In my opinion, that's true to an extent. But if Uncle Daniel and our other relatives won't tell them, they need to hear from somebody else that suing the school is a dumb idea and Maddie should quit being an instigator. AIT? Relevant comments. Commenter. NTA. But you may want to talk to Uncle Daniel. He may come to your aid with your parents, or at a minimum, give you some good advice. I'm guessing he's dealt with your parents before. Commenter. Nah, Uncle Daniel is clearly avoiding the drama. Would be unfair to pull him into it. OP. Yeah, there's a reason he isn't getting involved. He, and my other relatives, know by now that my parents only listen for the answers they want to hear. Commenter. Sounds like a bad case of golden child to me. Your uncle has the right idea. I know it's hard, but you're definitely going to. You may not pay bills, but that doesn't mean you don't get to voice your concerns. I'd say maybe talk to your uncle. Ask for his advice. Maybe look into some part-time work if you can to save up a bit of funds and keep it in either a sole bank account or a secure place that only you know about. Just in case. OP. I've been trying to save money when I can, but living anywhere is still crazy expensive and I'm broke. I will probably have to live with them for at least a couple more years after college. My current strategy is to stay somewhat on their good side, so I can have more freedom while saving up. Story 3. AITA for not being sad after my daughter passed away. I, M26, had a 3-month-old daughter with my ex-girlfriend. Tragically, she passed away a few weeks ago due to complications from SIDS. I know this is supposed to be the worst thing a parent can go through, but I don't feel sad. I thought I would, but I don't. And now, everyone around me is acting like I should be grieving harder than I am. To be honest, I never really wanted a child. When my ex told me she was pregnant, I was conflicted. I didn't feel ready to be a dad, and I even thought about suggesting other options. But once she made up her mind to keep the baby, I stepped up. I didn't want to abandon my responsibility, so I did my best to be there for her and our daughter. But even after she was born, I didn't feel that deep fatherly bond people talk about. My ex-girlfriend is a wreck, understandably. We weren't together when our daughter was born, and our relationship was already strained, but we tried to co-parent. I did everything I was supposed to, visited regularly, helped out financially, and tried to be a good dad, but that emotional connection never really clicked for me. The thing is, I've never been an emotional person. Growing up, I didn't cry at funerals, and I never got too worked up over anything. Even when other difficult things happened in my life, I just handled them and moved on. So the fact that I don't feel devastated right now doesn't surprise me, but it seems to bother everyone else. Friends and family keep calling and checking in on me, acting like I'm some fragile person about to break. But honestly, I'm fine. I know that sounds heartless. I feel more awkward than anything when they keep asking how I'm holding up. I didn't even cry at the funeral, and I could tell people were side-eyeing me for it. I've even had a few friends directly ask me if I'm bottling things up and need to talk, but there's nothing to talk about. I feel guilty that I don't feel more, but I also don't think I should force myself to grieve in a way that feels fake. Am I the asshole for not being sad like everyone expects me to be? Relevant comments. Commenter. Well, honestly, it sounds like you might benefit from working through why you aren't feeling grief about various events in your life. It's important and healthy to be able to form emotional connections, and if you struggle with that, it's best to get it addressed sooner rather than later. Commenter. I didn't feel tremendous grief when my nan died. I was sad, but not great grief, until I had a good day and went to phone her and realized I couldn't and never could again. Then grief hit me like a train. Commenter. OP, you are NTA, but the fact you feel guilt over it tells me that you feel sadder than you realize, but you are unable to feel it. And this is indicative that you may have suffered trauma as a child where being tough and non-expressive was important to you. My father died when I was 9, but it took me years to truly grieve him. Initially, I was fine, but that is because I always had to be tough for my mom. I was her counselor, and so I couldn't be sad. It goes deeper than that. But I think it is important that you pay attention not to what you don't feel, but rather what you do feel. This will help you in the long run. Remember, just like any moment of loss, this is a time you can learn from. Don't feel guilty for not crying, brother. It may take over 10 years to feel truly sad over her loss. It's okay, and you are okay. Story 4. My girlfriend friend, 25F, said I, 27M, was being unfair by refusing to leave the apartment when she asked. Last week I had a stressful week at work, so was looking forward to a chilled weekend. My girlfriend had plans to go out with friends, so I was planning a nice relaxing evening on Saturday. I got some food in, got a few drinks in, and was looking forward to catching up on some Netflix shows and playing some video games. Saturday morning my girlfriend mentioned that most of her friends have had to cancel, except one. She said she'd invited that friend over for the evening for a girls' night. She said they were going to watch movies and have snacks, etc. I mentioned that she knew I was planning on having a relaxing evening and that I was getting burnt out. She asked if I could do it another time and either go somewhere else for the evening or just sit in the bedroom and read or watch things on my phone for a few hours. I told her that I'm not being kicked out of my own home and that if she wanted an evening with just her friends, then they can go to her friends, since I had plans for the evening. She said I wasn't being fair, but I just pointed out she's just decided that her plans changing is more important than what I had planned and is acting like it's acceptable to kick me out of my home. I said if she wants an evening in with her friend, then we can discuss it another time. But for this Saturday, it's not going to happen. She just said again, I was being unfair. How would you handle this? TL Doctor, I had plans to relax on Saturday evening. My girlfriend was supposed to be going out with friends, but that got canceled. She then made plans with a friend to have a girls' night in and expected me to leave the apartment. I refused since I had plans and she said I was being unfair. Relevant comments. Commenter. Nothing unfair at all. Your response was reasonable based on what she did. She invited someone over without asking you and expected you to adjust your planned night for it. Neither of those were reasonable on her part. Commenter. You handled it exactly right. She overstepped in assuming she could change plans last minute. There was nothing unfair in what you said or did. Story 5. AITA I for telling my brother and Sil there's nothing I can do about their Christmas card photos being unsendable. My brother and Sil got their Christmas card photo taken about a month ago now. They used a friend of mine who does family photos. This has apparently encouraged them to expect a lot out of me because now they have a problem and they don't know what to do. My brother and Sil have been married for 3 years and have a 6-month-old together. SEL also has 2 older kids, 13 and 11, from her first marriage. She was a widow when my brother met her. They are not the nicely blended family they wanted to be, and her kids from the first marriage didn't want to be in the photos. There was a huge battle to take them, but the kids look a mix of angry and disgusted in all of them, like legit glaring and looking ready to puke. While my Sil and brother are smiling and the baby looks peaceful, a couple of them even show how distant they want to be from my brother and the baby. It's like they're leaning away from them. Sil said the photos are unsendable and there's no way she could let family and friends see them. But I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do here. They complained to me 3 times so far, and the last time they told me I need to do something and fix it. I asked them what they expected me to do, that I'm not the kid's favorite person or even a trusted adult in their eyes, and I can't magically erase their expressions. My friend was honest with them while the photos were being taken, but they didn't take it serious until they saw them. I told them after back and forth that there's nothing I can do about the photos being unsendable. SIL told me I'm not being very supportive. AITA, relevant comments. Commenter, NTA. Our blended family isn't, and the photos we had taken reveal that. They are focusing on the wrong thing here. The photos aren't the problem. The fact that the older kids likely resent their new half-sibling and are clearly unhappy with the current situation is the problem. If they want to paper over the cracks, tell them to deep fake some smiles onto the older kids. But really, they need to put some effort into actually tackling the root cause of the unsendable photos. The camera doesn't lie. Commenter, they could also do a photo collage for their Christmas card. Smiling photos of each of the kids from that year that were not taken at the forced family photo shoot. If they don't have any pictures of the kids looking happy from the last year, then the SIL has bigger problems and needs to reevaluate her life choices and put her kids in therapy. Commenter, I used to be a pro photographer. I quit because of people like OP's Sil. There's nothing I can do if your kid won't cooperate. And no, you can't have a refund because your kids were brats or refused to smile. They should not have forced the older kids. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you enjoyed our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated with our latest ones. Have a great day.